Now that Mike Wagner is chair of North Idaho College Board of Trustees, you might expect the meetings to go faster. No. The January 24th meeting burned through 3.5 hours, not counting the 1 hour they did not go into executive session. It's a new year and hopefully the final year on the road to disaccreditation. One of the hallmarks of the KCRCC-endorsed candidates is that they've only lived here for a gnat's lifespan. Case in point is this guy, in case you forgot. He lived here for only 18 months when he decided to run for Coeur d'Alene City Council. Rated and vetted, these people move to Idaho and arrogantly think that they can rescue us ignorant hicks from the evils that flourished under their noses in the previous states. Evils they cowardly fled from. One of those people is Mike Wagner, who wandered away from Washington State just a few years ago and is now helping to destroy North Idaho College. Nothing drives that home like this public comment.
Donna Burge or Runge?
You haven't lived here long enough, have you? Runge.
Runge?
Donna Runge is my name.
Thank you.
Yeah, this place. It's where I bought this desk over my shoulder 30 years ago. Yeah, people who live here, who are members of the community, they know the Runges.
I've lived here for 81 years, and I've worked at North Idaho College for 15 years. I was a counselor, and we worked so hard to have student success. We were really a family, and the staff, the faculty, got along so well, and the faculty and the administration ran the college. I feel it's a travesty that you three men think you can run the college, and that just makes everybody very upset within our community. One thing that's very hard on our community is that you're wasting our money, and it never ends. It never ends.
Wasting money is one thing the KCRCC3 are good at, which has been proven time and again. Another thing they're good at is being rude. Watch here as Mr. Shepler speaks the truth to make a valid point.
The only people I see benefiting from this current uptick in turmoil with the college is, in fact, the people being paid, and that would be Dr. South, who has an illegal contract. It would be Art McCumber, who is still being paid for I don't know why. Mr. Boyles, who is neither qualified nor should be sitting at that position.
Mr. Chair, personal attacks.
I would say that's not a personal attack. It's an opinion and an accurate observation. Even then, Banducci is out of line here when he's probably the worst trustee to gauge what I would call disrespect. Mr. Shepler is his perfect foil.
Mr. Banducci, let's talk about you for just a moment.
Sir,
Your
that's not.
Mr.
Chair,
this is the
Mr.
accreditation.
Chair.
The accreditation, last time, this is something we should be addressing, and yet at the last meeting, Mr. Banducci said we need to be throwing parties for his political friends before in the legislature, and that's not addressing accreditation either.
We're not on point with me at all.
I lack the words to properly express how much I feel Todd Banducci is a complete ass. Here's a statement on the Board of Trustees Ethics and Behavior from the NIC Staff Assembly dated February 23, 2021. Current board chair Todd Banducci has been accused by various college stakeholders of unethical and possibly illegal behavior since he joined the board in 2012. Trustee Banducci was privately censured by the Board of Trustees on April 8, 2020, and has allegedly continued to exhibit this behavior, violating NIC Policy 30305 regarding disruptive, hostile, or violent behavior. Despite all the evidence of Todd's brutish behavior, he apparently lacks the grace and intelligence to understand what it is he does. In fact, he wants people to worship him, to kiss the ground he walks on, and he's baffled when people call him out.
I heard there was some attacks maybe even before the meeting tonight by one individual, and it's not appropriate. It's like, you guys have the power to do all these bad things, but then you expect the public to worship you. It doesn't work that way. And then,
Did you hear that? It's Banducci snickering. Remember what I said about Todd demanding respect despite his behavior?
as far as the smile at me, Todd.
Yeah, I've
You're the
felt a
one
lot
I'm
of respect
talking
over the
about.
last 11 years.
And
It's a joke. It's all right. I have to laugh when you say such stupid
Let's
things.
move on here. She's got the floor.
perfect example of your behavior.
Just calling it the truth.
Thank you.
No, you're not speaking the truth.
Would idiotic have been a better word?
Boy, you're on a roll tonight, aren't you?
Pretty much. Having a lot of respect for some of you fine
Todd?
people.
He calls her stupid. He calls her idiotic. His behavior so upset my friend Kathy Ann Nonini that she sent this email to the board and carbon copied the NWCCU, the accreditation agency that has placed the college under show cause. I was shocked that Banducci would mock a person making public comment at a board meeting. When he told her the comments were stupid and then changed the description to idiotic, I was horrified. Banducci, do not call people names or label their behavior. It's rude, childish, and completely inappropriate. You are living up to your reputation as a bully. Todd, being Todd, just can't let it rest. If he's not being a bully, he's playing the victim card. But he's just not smart enough to refrain from engaging. Here's what the impudent bully wrote in response. And you are delusional. He goes on to try to refute an incident where Kathy Ann relates how Banducci lost his self-control and poked his finger in her chest. The length of his unhinged reply tells me that Kathy Ann is correct and Banducci is trying to excuse his loudest behavior. P.S. And please try and explain to me how your complaining and whining to the NWCCU hurts me or helps the college. It seems like you're grinding an axe because you and your husband are no longer politically relevant and he's a political has-been. Banducci goes on to, yes, personally attack Kathy Ann and her husband, former state senator Bob Nonini, doubling down but proving she's correct in calling him out for such loudish behavior. And get this, in his response, he also carbon copies the entire NIC board and the NWCCU. You're not very smart, are you, Todd? But it's not over. Kathy Ann writes back, you have no integrity. My story is accurate, and we both remember it well. You are an elected citizen, and your response is beneath the dignity of such. However, not at all surprising. Your behavior last night was completely inappropriate. At least you are consistent as demonstrated in past NIC meetings. She doesn't resort to calling him names. She doesn't mention that he's cited specifically in the NWCCU report for his behavior at public meetings and the way he treats the public. She doesn't mention that he assaulted a female employee and is effectively banned from attending NIC Foundation events. No, she handled it well. And she carbon copied myself and a few others in her, and my opinion, unrestrained reply. But being the toddler Todd, he can't let it go. He replies again, reply all, believe what you want, just remember to take your meds. I see you've included a couple of your special friends in your address list. Evil seeks its own. Todd, you should have also copied the U.S. Air Force to let them know how a supposed officer treats the public. You're a disgrace. How embarrassing for the college and the community, but not apparently for the KCRCC, which is busy apologizing for other, equally notorious people who live here.
Dave Riley?
If you're an active citizen here in Kootenai County, you probably have heard of this guy, Dave Riley. This guest opinion by Sandy Patano and Jack Riggs, published in the CDA Press last July, states they, meaning the KCRCC, say they do not support him, but they selected avowed anti-Semite and white nationalist David Riley as a delegate to the Idaho Republican Party's state convention held this month in Twin Falls. Riley's history as an anti-Semite and his close association with known white nationalist Nick Fuentes and now new local resident Vincent James Fox demonstrate Riley does not hold traditional, well-respected Republican nor Idaho values. This article was published in December 2023 by investigative journalist Daniel Walters. It reveals how David Riley is associated with far-right extremists and people who are allegedly members of fringe hate groups like the KKK and neo-Nazis. But Dave has also been hired by the Idaho Freedom Foundation and is rumored to do work for the KCRCC. The connection between the Idaho Freedom Foundation and the KCRCC is this guy, Brent Regan, who serves as chairman of both groups. In his CDA press column on December 22nd last year, after Daniel Walters' investigation exposed the IFF-Riley connection, Brent Regan doubled down on his support for Riley. He first attacks Walters for exercising his First Amendment rights. Sounds familiar. And then he defends Riley, almost apologizing for the guy. It's safe to say that anyone who reads the paper, talks with their neighbors, or even remotely pays attention knows who Dave Riley is and what he represents.
And so I was kind of curious if the progress is being made on that as opposed to progressive ideology. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. What's his name?
Dave Riley.
Come on.
Dave Riley. Have you?
Is McKinsey really that out of touch? Or is he just bad with names? Everyone in the room laughed. What is it with these people?
And the Oscar goes to...
Mr. McKinsey is unavailable to collect tonight's Oscar for his performance in, I don't know, the most infamous person in Kootenai County. Clueless or playing dumb? You tell me.